going on, everyone? This is Dr. Brent Pritt with Science of Falling, coming at you with another falling tutorial. Today we're talking about the backwards shoulder roll, the full backwards shoulder roll. So if you've seen my past videos of the half back roll and the full forward shoulder roll, you'll be pretty set up to learn this. But if you haven't, go check those out first, because a lot of the foundation to this technique are in those videos. So the full backward shoulder roll is for high momentum backwards falls, or falls from a high vertical distance that allow you to kind of go backwards and absorb some of that shock to a higher degree than a normal vertical fall would. So I'm going to perform this roll real quick for you so you see what it looks like, and then we're going to talk about how to make this roll essentially happen from what we've talked about in that half back roll video. So that was the full backward shoulder roll. It looks kind of intense, but matter of fact, it's actually fairly easy if you have that half back roll down. So I'm gonna just do a quick review of that real quick so you have essentially a base level of knowledge on that. And then we'll get to the little tiny tweaks that you have to make to allow you to absorb that extra momentum in a full backward shoulder roll. So if you remember us talking about the half back roll and that straight line that we want to fall on, that follows essentially the diagonal between one hip to the opposite shoulder, allowing us to go straight. We want to enter this the exact same way. So if you're entering from a crouched position, one leg is going to be on the inside. That's going to be the hip that you're going to be falling on. One leg is going to be kind of straight with that line almost. And then there's this 45-degree angle that you're going to be looking towards. And that allows us to follow that diagonal again. So you're going to fall on that back hip, contacting the ground, allowing you to have the momentum to follow across diagonal, get those hands up into that nice triangle position and follow diagonal, using those hands to contact the ground there. And in the half back roll, stop the momentum, but in the full backward shoulder roll to allow head clearance, because that's what you're gonna be pushing away from. That is the big difference between the half back roll and the full backward shoulder roll, is that you are trying to clear the head and protect it from the hard concrete ground or whatever it might be. So when you're going backwards, get those hands in that nice triangle position. You are going to push the ground away the minute they contact the ground. You're going to push it away, effectively giving you this clearance. You can see this difference in height between my hands and my head, and that is going to effectively clear that ground. Now at the same time, when you're rolling in this full backward shoulder roll, tilt that head away from the shoulder you're going to be rolling on, and that will give you extra clearance as well. Now, just like in the half back roll, when you're coming down, you want those legs to be fairly straight on top of each other, allowing us to control them as if they're our nice little rudder right there, and allow us to go straight over instead of all wonky. And we can, avoid objects or people and avoid secondary injury through that means. So, what are the biggest differences in this between the half back roll? It's going to be pushing the ground away, but also using those legs and kicking out and giving us a little extra height. So if I'm sitting here, I kick up, you can see my back pops off the ground a little bit. It's kind of what we're going for. Hands are going to push, legs are going to kick, will allow us to get to our feet fully behind us, safely and on the ground. Now, one big thing that I want to again emphasize is hand position, because if our hands are right here, we're in a good position to push the ground away. If we're right here, the ground, we're just going to end up doing a nice somersault, and we're going to land on our neck. And that's not going to look great. It's not going to feel great. And if we have a lot of momentum, it can lead to a lot of injury. So again, entering on the whatever hip, going to the opposite shoulder, get those hands up. Get that head tilted. Once we contact on our way back, past the halfway point, that's when you're going to push the ground away, kick the legs out, and allow you to complete that roll. Ideally landing on your feet, but if you can't make it to your feet, to your toes and possibly your knees, hopefully reducing the injury that you would have taken otherwise when you didn't do this technique. So I'm gonna show you that whole thing again from 2 different angles, going backwards and then coming from behind me and going this way. Now this technique, for me at very least, has never been a pretty technique. I'm not the greatest at this, but I can do it and I can get through a fall going backwards. So it takes a lot of practice. I find it less intuitive than the forward shoulder roll. You might not, you might find it fairly easy, but the idea is to work on getting those hand positions and those foot positions kind of second nature, so you don't have to think about it. You don't have to, you walk yourself through in the middle of a serious fall. You want to make them second nature. So anyway, guys, that is the full backward shoulder roll. Check it out, learn it, watch that half back roll for really the small little landing techniques and the arm positions, and make those second nature as well. Anyway, happy falling, y'all. Have a good one.